Let's take a look at our top focus at this hour. The Indian Air Force is celebrating its 91st anniversary today. Now, on this historic day, the IAF is all set to unveil its new ensign at the parade in Prayagraj. Chief of Air Staff Air Chief Marshal V.R. Chaudhary will unveil the new ensign in presence of Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan and the General Officer in Commanding of Central Air Command Air Marshal R.G.K. Kapoor. Now, the Indian Air Force ensign has been created to better reflect the values of the Indian Air Force. This reaffirmation will now be reflected by the inclusion of the Air Force crest in the top right corner of the ensign towards the fly side. The IAF crest has the national symbol, the Ashoka lion on top, with the words Satyamev Jayate in Devanagari written below it. Below the Ashoka lion is a Himalayan eagle with its wings spread, denoting the fighting qualities of the Indian Air Force. A ring in light blue color encircles the Himalayan eagle. The motto of the Indian Air Force is inscribed below Himalayan eagle in golden Devanagari. Now, the IAF motto has been taken from verse 24, chapter 11 of the Bhagavad Gita, which says, touching the sky with glory. For more on this, let me go across to my colleague Shivani, who joins us live from the parade site. Shivani, moment of pride for the entire nation as the Indian Air Force celebrates its 91st anniversary. Please give us more details on this new ensign and the parade which is happening there.
By the time we celebrate 100 years, the Indian Air Force must develop into...
Certainly, it's a day of pride for all Indians as we see the Indian Air Force enhancing its might on its 91st Foundation Day. My Vijay Harind will show you how the Chief of Air Staff has just reviewed the parade here at Bamrauli Air Force Station, where we'll see a whole sequence of events that has been lined up for the day. This will be a day when the new ensign of the Indian Air Force will be unveiled by the Chief of Air Staff, and this new ensign includes the crest of the Indian Air Force on top right. This shows that how the Indian Air Force is changing with time. It's increasing its might and it's getting stronger with the Shakti of Atmanirbharta, leaving the colonial era behind, because, you know, this is the time when we see a lot of assets in the Indian Air Force that are being indigenized, and indigenous aircrafts are also being inducted into the Indian Air Force, including the LCH, the LCA Tejas, the newly inducted C-295 that will also be assembled in India, in Vadodara. Now, you see the Chief of Air Staff will be unveiling the new ensign, and also we'll see how for the first time this parade is being led by a woman officer group, Captain Shailaja Dhami, showing how the Indian Air Force is making way for more women in the forces. And she also happens to be the first combat officer who has commanded a combat unit in the Indian Air Force, and also an all-women Vayu Veer contingent is participating in the Indian Air Force Day celebration at this time. So this is happening in Prayagraj for the first time in two parts. One part is the parade that's happening right now, and in the afternoon we'll see a majestic fly past with over 120 different aircrafts, including the fighters. We'll see the Su-30 LCA, we'll see the helicopters, Apache, Chinook and LCH. We'll also see the drone Shakti of the Indian Air Force here in the celebration that's going on right now. So this is a special day for the Indian Air Force, special day indeed for all Indians to see the might of the Indian Air Force that is celebrating its 91st Foundation Day on the theme of air power beyond boundaries. So that's what we see here in Bamrauli, and in the afternoon we'll witness the air show, the fly past on Triveni Sangam that's happening for the first time. So the idea is to bring these celebrations throughout the country. Last year it happened in Chandigarh, this year it's happening in Bamrauli, and for the forthcoming years we'll see these celebrations taking place in different parts of the country.
Shivani, on that note, as you said that the Indian Air Force is voicing India's Atmanirbhar Bharat's motto, and as you pointed out that a woman officer is leading the parade, what is the spirit of the crowd around you?
See, the spirit of the crowd, the spirit of Indians, the spirit of viewers, I think, who are watching us live in their homes is clearly saying that India is changing, India is transforming. This is new India with more power to the women who have always been contributing. And now in the forces also, they are being given these roles of combat commanding units. And Shailja Dhami, who happens to be the first women officer who has commanded the unit of all women, the combat unit, is leading this parade. So this speaks volumes about how the gender equality is happening in the forces also. More number of women officers are being inducted into the Indian Air Force, Indian Army, Indian Navy, and that's what we see is taking place in India. The parade has already started out here. We also see the all women contingent taking part in this parade for the first time. These are the fresh inducts of the women Vayu-Veers who have now been inducted into the Indian Air Force. They are the Agni-Veers of Indian Air Force. And the parade has started. We see a lot of assets that have been lined up here, including the indigenous LCH Prachand. We see LCA Tejas that has been made in India. And the new ensign will also be unveiled shortly after the parade by the Chief of Air Staff. So a lot of news happening and a moment of pride and honor for all Indians indeed.
All right, Shivani, many thanks for joining us live from the parade site and giving us our viewers an insight as to what all is happening there.
In its honor. Uniformed personnel shall salute.
देवियों एवं सज्जनों, जब निशान टोली आपके सामने से गुजरे.
Well, on the historic Air Force Day, my colleague Pradeep spoke to the Wing Commander Irfan Jarial. Wing Commander Jarial explains that despite multiple challenges, the only thing that keeps pushing the defense personnel is the will to serve the nation and help the people in distress.
What is the major challenge you face in such operations? Because right now also the people in SCIM are facing, several people are missing. What is the basic challenge you face?
I'm glad you use the word challenge rather than difficulties, because I always say that nothing is difficult if your training is correct. So we have faced various challenges regarding aircraft landing at various places, hovering, getting it out, weather. But the training of the Air Force is such that we are, you can say, molded to be the best.
So many a times it is seen that whenever you are there, you bring a smile on the faces because you are not only the first responder, but you are like playing a role of a savior for all those people who are stuck up in such a situation. What is going on in your mind at the time whenever you are conducting such operations?
There are only two things in my mind at that time. One is the nation and second is the person who's in distress. Nothing more than that.
Whenever there is a natural calamity or disaster, these air warriors play a role of a savior. They offer their lives to save people. And right now you can see in Sikkim, many people have lost their lives and about 114 are said to be missing because of cloud burst. And some of them are army personnel also. And right now relief and operation is also continuing in that area. And this is the team of our warriors that was involved in a similar kind of an operation few weeks back in Himachal Pradesh, Mandi area, and also in many places in Punjab. They carried out sortie. They were not only trying to help people, but they were also trying to provide them relief material. So it was a very difficult operation because at times we have seen that the whole area is inundated in water. There is hardly a place to land. That is considered to be the biggest ever challenge. And with the help of the rope, they came down slithering from the helicopters MY-17, and then finally they were able to rescue people. And they were, among the rescue operation, there were people who were cancer patients. That really brought smile on their faces. And this is how I am showing the man in olive and man in orange. They were the one who were carrying out the operation under difficult circumstances. It is not easy because sitting in your drawing rooms, often you say that it's very easy operation. You keep on politicizing valor of our soldiers. But if you look at the situation on the ground, it's not that easy.